If you would like to see how I achieve this gorgeous makeup base, then keep on watching. Hey guys, so today I am going to be doing my base routine for you. This is my very first YouTube video, so I am super excited to show you how I achieve my base. I think I have it nailed down pretty good. My skincare is already done. I went in with the Fenty Beauty, or the Fenty Skin, I'm sorry, the Fat Water. And I went in with the Naturium Multipeptide Moisturizer. That is all I do for my skincare. I'd like to keep it pretty simple. I do have very, very dry skin. And I feel like if I layer too many products on my skin, then my makeup tends to peel. And then, as you can see, I already have my brows done, and I just did a wash of bronzer on my lids since we are focusing on the face today. So first I will be going in with my absolute new favorite foundation. It is the Haus foundation, and I am in the shade 350 medium cool. This shade actually is a little too, I guess, orange, which it looks like I'm kind of orange, but you'll see once I apply it. It looks a little, it almost looks olive on camera, but in person it's a little too warm. It's almost like, I don't know how to explain it. I'm gonna go in with a flat brush, and this brush I got on Amazon. I'm gonna go in and stipple this on. I do use patting as well as swiping motion. I just think it gives it a better blend. But I do notice as I continue to blend this, it doesn't look as bad as when I first swipe it on. And if you see me looking past the camera, it's because I'm looking in my mirror. So just go in, place this everywhere. I don't want to go too far on my neck since I am wearing a white shirt. Why am I wearing a white shirt? Who knows? Once I have that how I like it, I then go in with a beauty blender. This one is the Real Techniques. And I just go in and make sure it is blended as seamless as possible. Okay, now that my foundation is all blended, I then go in with my contour slash bronzing, and I use the TooFaced bronzing stick, and this one is in the shade Chocolate Caramel. This, I can tell this one is a favorite because the last time I went to Sephora, this one was completely sold out. So luckily I got this not too long after it dropped, and I am absolutely in love with it. So I'm gonna go in here on my temple, the very top of my forehead, because you see my forehead goes like up this way. So the very top, other temple, and other cheekbone. And then I do not go on my jaw, I go below my jaw. With the jaw, you want to make sure you are giving yourself the shadow effect, and the best way to achieve that is going under, especially if you are a girl like me who has a slight double chin. And then I'm just gonna go in with this angled brush and blend this out. The best thing about this, one, the color is amazing, and two, the way it blends is so buttery smooth. It is amazing. Blend. You see, it takes no effort whatsoever. Blend, blend, blend. And you do not want to over blend. I feel like over blending, it takes away a lot of your product. And then see, it actually link has some right there. Go ahead and stipple. All right, bronzer is all blended, and now we are going to go in and conceal. This one is a new one that I just picked up, and my first impression was really good. This is the Tarte Creaseless Concealer, and this is in the shade Tan Sand. Now, what I will say about this concealer is if you are not a full coverage girl, this is not for you. Reason being is this is the thickest concealer I have ever used in my life. I was worried because I am a dry skin girl. I was really worried that this was going to be too thick under my eyes, and I didn't think it was going to blend. I was completely wrong. This blends like an absolute dream. And I put a lot last time, so I'm going to put way less this time. Wait, I don't even know if you can tell on camera. It is extremely thick. But it's not, it doesn't feel like there's any, like right now, it doesn't feel like there's anything under my eyes. But applying it, you can definitely tell how thick it is. So under my eyes, and usually I will go all the way, but because this is so thick, I'm not going to do that. So chin, the bridge of my nose. And I don't go too high up on my forehead. Just personally, I don't necessarily like that look. Go in between the brows. And that's it. And because this is so thick, I'm not going to let it sit. So I'm going to go in with my Real Techniques 402 brush and blend bottom to top. See, that was barely any. And it's blending. A little goes a long way. But it blends so nicely. I'm gonna hit the nose. Be very careful with the brows. If you are a girl that does the brows before your base. I used to be a girl that did it after, and I don't know why I stopped. Oh, yes I do. Because if I do it after, then I noticed that the base is too slippery for whatever brow product I'm using to really lay the way I need it to. So then I started doing it before, and I never went back. I will have to go in and probably touch up the top of my brows, because this is such a fluffy brush. It does touch the brows just a tiny bit. Go in and blend the under eyes. Always start with the outer edge and work your way up to right under your eye. Go ahead and start blending. And since this is my first YouTube video, how about you learn a little bit about me and we can become friends. So, since this is my first YouTube video, I'm going to tell you about myself so we can get to know each other. Because who likes watching people that they don't? Me personally, if I feel like I can't get to know someone through their videos, I personally don't watch. Like, you don't have to tell me your whole life story, but I like to feel like I almost like to feel like I'm watching a friend. So, for starters, my name is Angelise Irizarry. Angelise is my middle name. My first name is Mary. But I have never gone by that in my life. And I never will. Nobody calls me that. not even my family. Only people that used to call me Mary was when I was in school, and they would take roll first day, and then that was it. But yeah, my first name is Mary Angelise Irizarry. I am married. Me and my husband have been together for almost 6 years, and we have been married for, it'll be 3 years on Thursday. We met at my ex-best friend's house. My ex-best friend and one of his best friends used to date, and while I was in beauty school, I was over her house every day because I didn't like going home. And so I would always go to her house, and he ended up always being over there. But at the time, I didn't date men. So, and I knew most of his friends already. So I had never seen or met him before. And so at the time, I didn't date men, but supposedly the day he saw me, he told all of the guys that he was going to marry me, and they told him good luck because I didn't date guys. I'm gonna go in and blend out the edges with my sponge. So he says that he told them he was gonna marry me, and they told him good luck, and it worked. We actually were best friends for almost 2 years before anything ever happened. And the way it happened was I was going through a lot at home, and which is another story I'll get into another time. I was going through a lot at home, so I ended up being at his house. I ended up going to his house one day, and then that day turned into another day, and then I just never left his house. But at this time, we were still just best friends. So that was that was the beginning of 2018. And we never left each other's side after that. We were both in very sticky situations, not like relationship wise, but just like life wise. And we were always there for each other. And so this was the only relationship where I naturally fell in love with somebody. And yeah, he's been stuck with me ever since. So now we're gonna go in and blush. This is the Juvias Place blush in the shade Coral Rose. And my placement is I go right in kind of on top of my bronzer. So it's like kind of in between my bronzer and my contour. My bronzer and my concealer. With the Juvia's Place blush, be very, very careful. It is very, very pigmented. Even though I'm kind of crazy, and sometimes I'll go in with like 2 layers and go in with powder blush. I know, I'm crazy. It's okay. And then I'm gonna go in with my liquid blush brush from e.l.f. Liquid blush brush from e.l.f. And I'm gonna go in and start patting and blending this in. So yeah, so he's been stuck with me. We have 3 beautiful children. Goodness gracious. We have 3 beautiful children together. I have my oldest son, who is 4. He'll be 5 in July. And then I have my middle child, my off-the-wall child. She is 2. She'll be 3 in November. And then I have my youngest beautiful baby, and she will be 1. She'll be 2 in December. I have my daughters, yes. I had my daughters a year apart. And that was the most stressful time of my life, like 100% honesty. I'm gonna go in and add more to this side because this side is a little more vibrant. Having Irish twins, if anybody doesn't know what that is, it's basically having 2 kids. Like, I think it's like within a year. Having Irish twins is not for the weak. I was stressed so much because my first 2 were planned. My last one was not. And so I honestly, I didn't want any more. After my first daughter, I had a boy and a girl, so I thought that was perfect. But God said that was not my plan. So I had my second beautiful baby girl. And I'm really glad that I did, because I feel like the only downside I will say is because I got pregnant so soon after my first daughter, I didn't really get to enjoy her milestones because I was so stressed about being pregnant again. And honestly, I don't really remember a lot of her milestones because I feel like I was so mentally gone at the time, which breaks my heart, honestly, because I remember my sons. You know, you never really forget your first, if I have any parents watching, you never really forget your first child's milestones. But it was kind of, I feel like it was kind of robbed from my daughter, from my oldest daughter, because of me being pregnant with her sister. I'm just going in and melting everything together with my beauty blender. So yeah, so that was a difficult time. But my babies are so beautiful. They are amazing. They're little demons sometimes, a lot of the time, especially my oldest daughter. Something is wrong with that girl. But they bring so much light to my life. It's kind of scary because for a long time I didn't, when I was like a teenager, I did not want kids because I have a younger brother. Me and him are like 9 years apart, and I did not like him. I did not like him at all. And I didn't start liking him literally until he was a senior in high school, which was 2 years ago. That's when me and him are now really, really close. And I guess I was just at an age where I didn't want anybody younger than me around me. And so I kept that up for a while. And so when I finally did have kids, it was kind of shocking, to be honest, because again, I didn't even date men. So to be now dating a man and now having children was crazy. So I'm going to go in with my Huda Beauty setting powder in the shade Peach Pie. I also just got this. That's a lot of powder. I'm honestly still trying to figure out how to use it, which sounds weird because it's a powder, but it is so finely milled. I feel like it can build up really easily. So I'm going to go in with a powder puff. And I just got this on Amazon. And so I'm going to take powder. See, that is a lot of powder on this puff. So I'm going to press it into my hand. You can literally see it flying off. I'm going to blend this into my hand before I set my under eyes. Because the very first time I used it, my under eyes felt really, really tight. And so I knew I used too much, especially because I had just used, especially because I had just used the new Tarte concealer. And with it being so thick, plus a lot of powder and my dry skin, it was not a good combination at all. But at least the under eyes, so flawless. And the first time I used it, because I had heard the fragrance on this is real. I heard a lot of amazing things about the Huda setting powder because I've been using the One Size setting powder, which is my ride or die. But I really wanted to try this one because the one thing about the One Size is it is a little on the like chunkier side, and I heard this one was like really fine. So I have been wanting to try it for a while. And I'm just setting everywhere where I placed concealer. But yeah, I wanted to try it, and I went in the same way I go in with my One Size, and it was just, my under eyes felt really tight, which was my fault. It was not on the powder at all. And so now it feels really good and it looks amazing. It is really mattifying, which don't get me wrong, I love a matte look, but ever since my skin became dry, because I used to have pretty normal skin before I had my girls, they took a lot from me. I used to have really normal skin. Now, because my skin is so dry, I prefer much more of a dewy look more than a completely matte look, which is why I love my setting spray, because it brings back that dewy finish to my skin. All right, so under eyes are set. We're gonna go in and set my bronzer. If I can find where I put it back in my thing. So usually I go in with the NARS bronzer. This one is in the shade Casino. Only thing about this one, as you see, I like a really warm bronze look. This one is kind of on the cooler side. It looks kind of warm in the pan, but on my skin it looks warm. So I'm gonna go in with a bronzer that I've had for a while, and I got this at a beauty supply store, and I want to get another bronzer, but for this one, this is what I have. It's the Palladio matte bronzer. This one is on the warmer side, so I'm going to use this to set my bronzer. I'm going to take a different angled brush, go in, tap off the excess, and set my cheeks, or just set everywhere I place bronzer. And I don't like to do too much when it comes to the bronzer, because I feel like it can go too much too quick. That's it. What else about me? I am 27. I am a Libra. My birthday is October 15th. I really, honestly, I believe in the zodiacs, but at the same time, I don't base my life on them. Like, I believe, okay, my husband's gonna kill me if he sees this. Geminis are accurate. My husband is a Gemini, and that man definitely has 2 different personalities living in his body. He's gonna kill me if he sees this. I love him to death though, but he definitely has his moments. I really want to strangle him, because calm down. But yes, I'm a Libra. I don't know. I live in Texas, Fort Worth, Texas. It's getting real hot and I don't like it. I'm taking the Rare Beauty blush. Oh my god. This blush is probably the prettiest blush I've ever seen. This one is in the shade Joy. And I was excited to get this because I've noticed I've been in a state lately where I don't like putting highlighter on my cheeks anymore. So because this is a highlighter and blush in one, it is the perfect substitute if you are not in that era anymore. So I'm gonna go in and set my blush, and I'm just gonna pack this on. It's so pretty, and it's a very subtle shine. It's not extremely overpowering. Set this. And this on top of the Juvias Place blush, I think is gorgeous. I have a Rare Beauty blush. But I thought, because if you look, this kind of almost has like a reflective orange or like peach shade in it. So I thought it would pair really, really well, and it does. And I do take my blush onto my temple. I used to not be a blush girl. And lately, baby, I live for the blush, okay? If you do not like blush, just try different blushes or different shades of blushes. Because I feel like if you do have the wrong shade, yeah, you're not gonna like it. But if you find like that shade that just works for you, you cannot go wrong with the blush. You can go light on everything else, but if you have a nice blush, you cannot go wrong, I'm telling you. All right, last step, I'm gonna go in with the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Powder Foundation. This one is in the shade 370. And I'm gonna go in with this extremely fluffy brush that I got on Amazon. It's a Wet n Wild fluffy brush. And I'm gonna go in and set everywhere where I put foundation. And then sometimes if I do like say like my under eyes are too bright or like something on my face is too bright, I'll go in with this and just go over that part just to tone it down just a bit. It's so pretty. Oh, I did forget one thing. Sorry, I keep not looking at this camera. I have to get used to talking to the camera. Again, this is my first video. But I have been doing TikToks for about like 2 weeks now, but I don't do a lot of talk throughs. So that's like the only thing I struggle with is talking into a camera. So bear with me, please. I'm gonna go in and redefine. I don't contour my nose, I just redefine my nose. I think I have a pretty nice size nose, so I'm gonna go back in with that same bronzer I used from my cheeks and forehead, and I'm gonna go in and just redefine my nose. I don't do a lot at all, and I do put it on the entire bottom, even on my nostrils. I put it on this whole part. I think it makes it look so much better. I'm gonna go in and go up. I kind of already had my nose started. I learned this from Makeup by Oreo when he did Patrick's makeup. When you go in with when you're doing your eyeshadow and you're doing this inner part, just bring it down a little bit and it already starts your nose for you. So I already had that part done. I really want to go back and rewatch that video just to get some more tips, because his the way he does his makeup is crazy, because he goes in so lightly with his products and ends up with one of the most flawless bases I've ever seen in my life. And I need to take some tips, because he is really good. And just remember, when doing your makeup, follow what works best for you. Not everybody's eye shape is the same. Not everybody's eyebrows are the same. Not everybody's face shape is the same. So really learning the anatomy of your face is key. And I know that sounds kind of cliche, but it is so true. Because before I had kids, I had a very, right now, I in my opinion, my face is kind of on the rounder side. And before I had kids, my face, I had a pretty perfect face. My face was pretty on the oval side. I had nice hollows in my cheeks so where I could follow my natural, you know, contour. And now I feel like I have to kind of snatch my face up to make it not look so rounded. So I've had to relearn my face after having kids. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having to relearn or reteach yourself, because I've been doing my makeup for about 10, 11 years now. And my routines have changed so much. It's insane. But as you grow, you know, parts of you change and you have to adjust your technique to what you're working with. So learning the anatomy of your face, learning what works best for the anatomy of your face is key when it comes to your makeup. So if you're doing things, so like my placement for today, if you have let's say, if you have already a long face, you don't want to have to go in on these super high points to bring your face in, because then it's just going to make your face look longer, if that makes sense. So you just have to learn what works best for you. If you have a very defined jaw, you don't want to go in and contour your jawline, because it's just going to make it even more defined. So hopefully that's a good tip for you guys. Okay, so now everything is set. The base is looking absolutely flawless, if I do say so myself. I have this Huda. Okay, I'm actually gonna go in with a little more powder, because I can tell directly under my eye isn't completely set the way I want it. So I'm just gonna lightly set that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and finish my eyes and my lips and my hair off camera, and then we will set the face and give you the final look. And we are back. Makeup is done, hair is done. Well, makeup is almost done. We got 2 more steps to go. So I'm gonna go in with my Charlotte Tilbury setting spray, and we're going to drench our faces. I'm trying not to get my hair too wet. You should look like you're sweating. We're gonna let that dry down. But while that's drying, I go in with my highlighter. And this is the Ofra Glow Goals highlighter. I've had this highlighter for probably like 9 years. I'm gonna go in and put this on the inner corner of my tear duct, or in my tear duct, inner corner, my tear duct. And make sure you blend that into your shadow. I used to not do that, and I used to wonder why it looked weird, and that's why. You gotta blend it in. And then I'm also going to take it on the very tip of my nose. And my finger, as well as the top part of the bridge of my nose. Just draw a line. Now just blend it up a little bit. This highlighter is so good. And I don't know how. Cause usually when I use really old makeup, I end up breaking out. But this is one product that has never made me break out. And this is the final look. Flawless base, works every time. And a big shout out to Nikki LaRose here on YouTube. If you have not watched a Nikki LaRose video, I highly suggest it. She is a celebrity MUA. I'm not sure how long she's been doing it, but I watch her videos faithfully. Again, I've been doing makeup for like 10 years, but I watch her videos faithfully, and I have picked up so many tips. Even though she's a oily skin girl, she gives a lot of tips for all skin types, and I have learned a lot from her. But shout out to her for this product combo recommendation. This, honestly, I've only been using it, again, for a couple of days, and I can already see a major difference in the way my makeup applies and in the way it sits on my skin. So if you are a dry skin girl, I highly suggest those products. The Fenty Skin Fat Water, you can order or pick up at Sephora, and then the Naturium moisturizer, I got it on Amazon, but I also believe they do have it at Target, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, shout out to Nikki for that suggestion. If you guys would like a eyebrow tutorial or just a eye look tutorial in general, please let me know down in the comments. You can also go and follow me on TikTok. I post a lot of my looks there as well. The lip combo is the NYX lip pencil in Espresso. I'm almost done with it. And the NYX Smooth Whip Matte Lip Cream. And this one is in the shade Pancake Stacks. And then I topped that off with the e.l.f. Glow Reviver Lip Oil. And it was clear, but my color from my lip combos is rubbing off. I use this instead of lip gloss now. It's so good. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys liked the look. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, I am very much open to it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.